In my last video, I gave the clips to Deepgram and Sarvam worked better for our use case. But there was an obvious follow-up. What about Google? So today I'm adding a third engine, Google's Chirp, both Chirp 2 and Chirp 3, to the exact same benchmark. Same 10 languages, same audio, same scoring code. And I'll tell you now, Chirp changes the story in some places. And in a couple of places, it stumbles in ways I did not expect. Same disclaimer as always, these are my results on my samples, my interpretation. I could be wrong, so treat this as a starting point and run your own test. Let's get into it. 30-second recap if you missed part 1. I built a small reproducible benchmark, 10 sentences in 10 languages. English, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Punjabi, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada. Real human speech, 33 to 48 seconds each. The headline from part 1. Deepgram was excellent on English, around 94, but returned essentially 0 on 7 of the Indian languages because its models are focused on English and mostly European languages. Sarvam, built India first, stayed in the 90s across all 10. My framing then and now is right tool for the job, not better or worse. Today, does Google Chirp behave like Deepgram, English first, or like Sarvam, India capable? Let's see. The method is identical to part 1, so it's a fair comparison. Same files, same references, same normalization, same scoring. I just added 2 Google columns. For scoring, I still use 2 metrics, WER, word error rate, and CER, character error rate. CER is the fair judge for Indian scripts because a word can be validly spelled more than one way. And before scoring, I normalize everything. Unicode normalize, strip punctuation, fold native digits, so 15 becomes 15. So nothing is penalized for formatting instead of real errors. 2 things about Google specifically in the interest of fairness. I run Chirp in auto detect, language underscore codes set to auto, exactly like the others. I never tell any engine the language. That's how a real multilingual product works. Chirp comes in 2 flavors. Chirp 3 is the newest, running from Google's US region. Chirp 2 runs from a closer Asia region. For 8 of these 10 languages, Chirp 3 is still preview tier. Only English and Hindi are fully GA. So those numbers can move. Worth knowing. And again, this is one setup, my setup. A different test could land differently. Let's read the batch table. Combined accuracy, the average of word and character accuracy. English, everyone's great. Deepgram around 94. Chirp 98 to 99. Sarvam 98 to 99. Hindi, Deepgram high 50s to low 60s. But watch this. Chirp jumps to 96 right alongside Sarvam's 94 to 99. Marathi, Deepgram in the 30s, Chirp 96, Sarvam low 90s. And here's the big shift from part 1. On Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, where Deepgram was 0, Google Chirp is right there, 94 to 98. Sarvam 97 to 99. On Gujarati and Kannada, same thing. Chirp 94 to 99, Sarvam 97. So unlike Deepgram, Google Chirp is genuinely a multilingual India-capable engine in file mode. That's the headline. But 2 honest exceptions, and I want to flag them clearly. Punjabi. Deepgram 0, Sarvam 91 to 98, and Chirp about 1%. Not a typo. I'll explain exactly why in a minute. Because it's a fascinating specific failure and it's not that Chirp can't hear Punjabi. Bengali. Chirp lands 71 to 84. Usable but clearly weaker than Sarvam's 98. So Bengali is a soft spot for Chirp in my test. So batch in one line. Chirp closes almost the entire Indian language gap except Punjabi and to a lesser degree Bengali. Now streaming, where voice agents actually live. And this is where Chirp and Sarvam diverge. For English, Flux around 77, Chirp 98 to 99, Sarvam 98 to 99. Great. For Hindi, Flux 57, Chirp 96 to 98, Sarvam 94 to 100. Still great. But look at the harder languages in streaming. Chirp gets choppier. Tamil around 81, Bengali 67 to 86, Gujarati 59 to 76, and Punjabi 0 to 18. Sarvam meanwhile stays remarkably steady, 92 to 100 across the board. My read: Chirp's auto-detect is reliable in batch but weaker in the streaming path. When it has the whole file, it identifies the language confidently. Live, midstream, it wobbles. So a low Chirp streaming number here often reflects language detection, not raw transcription ability. Sarvam streaming was simply more consistent in my test. So why does Chirp, which handles Tamil and Telugu beautifully, score 1% on Punjabi? This is the most interesting result in the whole test. It's not that Chirp can't hear the words. Under auto detect, Chirp identifies the audio as Dogri, a related language written in the Devanagari script. So it writes the correct Punjabi words in the wrong script. My reference is in Gurmukhi, the standard Punjabi script. So character for character, it scores near 0, even though the underlying words are basically right. That's a language detection and script gap, not an acoustic one. If I pinned the language to Punjabi Gurmukhi, it would score in the high 90s. I tested that. But I'm keeping everything on pure auto detect to be even-handed. So I'm reporting the auto detect number and telling you exactly why it looks the way it does. And the bigger picture? Deepgram is English and European first. Sarvam is India first by design. Google Chirp is a broad multilingual engine that covers a lot of Indian languages well, with a couple of detection edge cases like Punjabi and preview tier caveats. Right tool for the job. If coverage has changed by the time you watch this, AP is move fast, correct me in the comments. Accuracy is half the picture. Let's talk money. Dollars and rupees. At test day rate, $1 about 94.5 rupees. Rates change, so check current pricing. This is a snapshot. Sarvam, 30 rupees an hour, flat. Every model, file or streaming. About 33 US cents. Deepgram, growth plan. Nova 2 about 29 cents an hour. Nova 3 about 47. Flux about 41. Google Chirp, flat, $0.016 a minute, which is 96 cents an hour, roughly 91 rupees. So here's the surprise. On coverage, Chirp looks a lot like Sarvam. On price, it's a different tier entirely. Chirp is about 3 times Sarvam's rupee rate and about double Deepgram's Nova 3. And it's flat. There's no planned discount to grow into. Scale it to 1,000 hours of audio a month. Sarvam around 30,000 rupees, about $317. Deepgram Nova 3 around 44,000. Google Chirp around 91,000 rupees, roughly $960. Same workload, very different bill. One practical detail that helps everyone. All three in my reading bill per second, not per rounded up minute. A 30-second clip costs 30 seconds. Always confirm on your own plan, but that's how it reads today. So the cost story. Chirp buys you broad coverage, but it's the premium option here. The part I always want to be upfront about. What this test does not prove. 1. One sentence per language. Directional not a statistical study. The gaps are big enough that I trust the direction, but exact percentages would move with more data. 2. Clean single speaker audio. No noise, no 8 kHz phone audio, no crosstalk. Real world audio is messier and could reshuffle things. 3. Chirp 3 is preview tier on 8 of these 10 languages. And I ran pure auto detect. Pinning the language would help Chirp on Punjabi specifically. I am reporting the auto detect reality on purpose. 4. Sarvam file upload uses their async batch API. The real-time REST endpoint returned a credits message on my key. Worth knowing for a like-for-like read. 5. This video is accuracy and cost only. I have not measured latency here, and for a voice bot, latency is huge. That's the entire next video. Take this as one data point from one person's test, not the final word. My take, just my take, for the languages and conditions I tested. English only or global? Deepgram still looked excellent. Strong English, mature ecosystem, and the cheapest rate here. Broad language coverage, batch/offline, budget not the top constraint. Google Chirp is a serious multilingual option. It handled most Indian languages well in file mode. Just mind the price, the softer streaming, and detection edge cases like Punjabi. Indian languages, especially live/streaming and cost sensitive. Sarvam was the strongest all-round fit in my results. Consistent across batch and streaming, predictable rupee pricing, and it didn't trip on Punjabi. That's the framework I'd use. But you know your audio and your users better than I do. So weigh it for your case. Everything you saw, the per language scores for all three engines, and the cost sheet in dollars and rupees, I built from scratch. And I'm happy to walk through the code. And here's the cliffhanger. Accuracy and cost tell you what to pick for transcription. But if you're building a voice bot, there's a third axis nobody shows. Latency. How long after someone stops speaking before your bot can even start replying? I measured exactly that over live WebSockets in real voice bot conditions. And the ranking is not what these accuracy tables suggest. That's the next video. If this was useful, subscribe so you catch part 3. And if you disagree with anything here, seriously, I'd love the correction. See you in the next one.